Dearest gentle reader, in this video I will be explaining to you the Bridgerton Family Tree. This tree is based on the books, so there will be spoilers throughout this video showing who married who. However, there are certain changes that Netflix did make, changes in marriage or the reduction of characters. So if you're new to Mortal Faces, welcome. Here on my channel, I untangle family trees and transform historic portraits to see how individuals we read about might have looked in real life, and I also talk a little bit about them. So thank you for watching, subscribe for more trees, and let me know in the comments who you want to see next. The Bridgertons had been in Aubrey Hall when they arrived in the early 1500s. James Bridgerton had been made a Viscount and granted land by Henry VIII. The Roxbys had been living in Craig House, a mere 3 miles apart. A shorter time frame, but outranked the Bridgertons since 1672. James Bridgerton had descendants, and generations later, 2 boys, one the next Viscount and the other Mr. Bridgerton. Mr. Bridgerton married Anne and had 5 children. One, Poppy, married Andrew Roxby, and they had a son, Roger. The Roxbys married 2 more times into the Bridgerton family, but to the Viscount's heirs instead. You see, he married his wife Alexandra, and they had 6 children. The third would be Edmund, Viscount Bridgerton, husband of Violet, and they had 8 children. The eldest, Anthony, married Catherine Sheffield, the highlight of season 2, who would become the next Viscountess. Her mother died when she was 12, and her father died when she was 25. After her mother passed away, her father married Lady Mary and had Edwina, her half-sister. Lady Mary was married previously, but it wasn't such a good match. Then she married Mr. Sharma, a widowed and untitled man. However, her parents disapproved. She married nonetheless, had Edwina, and continued to raise Catherine after Mr. Sharma passed away. Edwina ended up marrying Mr. Bagwell, and upon the successful marriage of Catherine to Anthony, she no longer had the pressure to marry for fortune. Catherine, the next Viscountess, gave Anthony 4 children: Edmund, Miles, Charlotte, and Mary. The next son was Benedict. He ended up marrying Sophia Becket. She was the illegitimate child of the Earl of Penwood and his maid. She was raised by her maternal grandmother, who was always kind to her, until left at the steps of her father's house. Even though he did not know of her existence, he presumably took her in as his ward, but had her brought up by the servants. He married the evil stepmother with 2 daughters of her own to bring into the household, and they treated her like Cinderella until she was kicked out of the house. Together, Benedict and Sophia had 4 children: Charles, Alexander, William, and Violet. And this moves us now to the third Bridgerton, Colin, the highlight of season 3. Colin marries Penelope, also known as Lady Whistledown, and we know her quite well, the Featheringtons. Did you know that in the book, Prudence married Robert Huxley, but in the series she married Harry Dankworth? Philippa married Nigel Burbrook in the book, and Albion Finch in Netflix. You see, Nigel was the same man that was engaged to Daphne in season 1. Due to his nefarious intentions, he was scandaled away. She had to marry Albion Finch instead. There was supposed to be a 4th Featherington daughter, Felicity, who married Geoffrey Albansdale. However, she was removed because her character was supposed to be a perfect specimen, and that wouldn't go along well with the imperfect Featherington family, and so she was sacked. And this also gave rise to Penelope to shine as the child we cheer for in season 3, while her 2 older sisters are already taken care of. Daphne, the 4th child of the Bridgertons and the eldest daughter. She was the highlight of season 1 and married Simon Bassett, the Duke of Hastings. Daphne kind of fell off the spotlight as room was made for the other Bridgerton siblings to rise in focus, but she had 5 children with the Duke: Amelia, Belinda, Caroline, David, and Edward. Eloise. Now this is a twist. Remember Marina Thompson, distant cousin of the Featheringtons? Well, in the books, she was a distant cousin of the Bridgertons. In the book, and similar in the series, she had been betrothed to George Crane and was pregnant, but he passed away and so married his brother Philip. She would eventually attempt suicide and die from fever related to that. Philip then would begin romances with Eloise, and the two would get married. They would have 3 children together: Penelope, Georgiana, and Frederick. Francesca Bridgerton, the 6th child of the Bridgertons, was the only incomparable of her season. She had a rich internal mind. She first married John Sterling. However, the marriage was short-lived as he died, presumably of a brain aneurysm. She was devastated, but found comfort in his first cousin and best friend, Michael Sterling, the next Earl of Gilmartin. Unfortunately, she never had a child with John as she miscarried, but had 2 with Michael, John and Janet. Gregory is the second-last Bridgerton child and youngest boy of the family. He married Lady Lucinda. Infatuated with her best friend Hermione Watson at first, Gregory and Lucinda worked together to try and make Hermagory a thing. Long story short, he falls in love with her instead. They have 9 children together, naming them Catherine, Richard, Hermione, Anthony, Benedict, Colin, and Eloise, and Francesca, a nod to their siblings. Her brother ends up marrying Hermione instead. Hyacinth, named after Violet and Edmund's favorite flower, becomes Baroness St. Clair when she marries Gareth St. Clair, her brother Gregory's best friend. She was born shortly after her father's death and never knew her father. Gareth was Lady Danbury's grandson. So Lady Danbury had 4 children, and the youngest, Anne, had an affair with her husband's brother, resulting in Gareth. Gareth, presumably raised by Lady Danbury, much like how she helped raise Simon Basset, and together Hyacinth and Gareth have 2 children, George and Isabella. And that is as simple as it could possibly get. Brings us to the end of this video. The other names I showed but not mentioned may shine in future episodes. We will have to see. You can always come back to this to see how they are connected. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You can check out more on my channel. I do have lots more family trees and recreations on my channel. Subscribe for more trees. Each of your subscriptions has helped this channel grow. It allows me to continue making more content for you. Let me know in the comments who you want to see next. I do make a list of all your suggestions, and I will see you in the next one.